Really? My grandfather was not a pipe smoker. He was a cigarette smoker. He did introduce me to this though, because I think that he he had that from the docks, and I remember this is what he used to light all his cigarettes with, and I thought it was just the coolest thing. I don't know why I was just sort of fixated on the lighter itself, um, but I remembered it. And I was like, I got to get myself one, so I keep on the lookout for really good models of it.
My folks smoked cigarettes too. My uncle is the one who smoked a pipe, and it smelled so good. It was Edgeworth Ready Rub.
Hmm. That's fairly sophisticated for back in the
A
day.
long time ago. Well, that's about all you could get back in those days. It was over the counter stuff.
Hey, Stephen, are you still in the St. Louis area?
No, out here in California, in Brea.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
My daughter and son-in-law feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm down here in southern Missouri.
Oh, okay. We used to go down there every September to Bennett Springs. And I'll tell you, I really miss doing
There you
that.
go.
The kids are out in Maine now, so they can't really meet us down there. But that was just the most relaxing, most enjoyable week of my life. We'd rent one of those cabins, get up in the morning early, go down to the stream, and I could sit there all day long with a pipe and my fishing rod.
There you go, man.
Matter of fact, one day I did have to sit there all day long till I got my limit.
Nice.
And then, and this is interesting too, on the way home, we'd go back to St. Louis. Now, we lived out in California, but we have family in St. Louis. So it'd be kind of a dual thing. We fish and then also visit the family. But on the way back, we always stopped off at Missouri Meerschaum. And
Yep,
I always took them at least 2 dozen trout. And
Nice.
Marilyn and Phil, they just loved it. Really
Yeah, I
nice
bet.
people. They'd never let me out of
Oh,
there
yeah.
without giving me a pipe.
Yeah, they're the best.
They really are. That museum is really neat.
I've seen somebody's video on YouTube that did a tour of the museum there. I'd love to go check it out myself.
Really neat.
Yeah, and I have a few cobs. I go through them pretty fast, so
I have a few too many.
you have a few too many. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the topic of our meeting today. Just so that you know, I have to do this thing because people are watching us over there on YouTube. So, YouTubers, welcome to the Virtual Pipe Club meeting on August 1st, 2020. Welcome. I try to keep my eye on this on the YouTube stream as well as the meeting here. So if you guys have questions or whatever, just go ahead and pop them in, or you could come and join the guys in the Zoom room here. But you're going to have to go over to Facebook and find the link, because the last time we posted the link on YouTube, we had other visitors.
Unwanted.
Yes, we're not quite the visitors that we wanted.
It looks
So
like Dimitri was trying to show off his cob.
it's just he is a stud. Well known amongst the New York pipe circles. But I don't think that even he would have invited those guys in.
No.
So if you're over there on YouTube and you want to join the conversation, you want to pop in, just go over to the Facebook groups. Almost all of the pipe pages have a posting on it with the link on it. Come on in. Okay, that's all Oh, the topic of the day is, I'll just show you it's
Thunder.
Collector's Corner. So I invited everybody to bring some of their favorites and talk about their pipes, their collections, their favorite. If you brought it with you, awesome. If you just want to talk about it, I brought the small part of my collection, which is made by one of our members. So there's a guy who I don't know if he's going to show up today because he lives in Malaysia and it's the middle of the night right there. But his name is Abdul Karim, and he carved all these the new church warden that I just got. He carved that one. So anyway, that's our topic for the day. So
Yeah, David, I remember here within the past probably 12 or so hours, exposed to one of Kareem's pipes. It looked really nice. So, did you see that with the knife and everything?
I'm sorry, John, you broke up a bit there, buddy.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's probably my bad cell phone.
When we have stuff when your cell phone or your Wi-Fi glitches, you can always type stuff into the chat. It's because once upon a time, children, we didn't have video. We had to write to one another. I know that seems ancient, Zach, but just
even in cursive once in a while.
even in cursive.
Yeah, remember when you actually had to write on paper, then put that paper into envelope, put the stamp on it, and wait 2 weeks until you get the answer.
Yeah, and every time I had a birthday or
I
something.
thought that was a myth, Dimitri. Did that actually happen? Did people use paper back then? I thought it was just a joke.
Yeah. No, Bart, back in the days when Dimitri and I were riding dinosaurs, we did write letters as well. So that's an option there. Alistair, if you brought burgers, you had to bring one for everybody. You did know that, right?
Yeah, I failed in that task. I'll sure be on top of it next time.
Please. That's all right. I have a beverage that is so good that I had to put it in a plastic cup so nobody could see what it was. So it's allowed.
Okay.
Okay, gentlemen, I have a question. I don't know if anybody have any information. I have, this is one of my many corn cobs. This is definitely old, and it says the Union Pipe Company. I have no idea how old it is, but I assume it might be from like 1970s or earlier, might be even 1960s. I just have no idea. I don't know anything about the Union Pipe Company. I don't know if anybody have any information. I will really appreciate any information.
Looks like those old Dominion pipes.
Well, this is actually much older. Most likely this pipe is as old as I am, maybe even older. So, and I know this company doesn't exist anymore. Possibly it was absorbed by Missouri Meerschaum, or maybe it just went out of business. Because I know that H&B became part of Missouri Meerschaum. And this one, it's not actually Washington, Missouri. It says here on the bottom, Owensville, Missouri.
Do we know if it's actually an American-made pipe? Is it possible that it
It is
either
American-made
European or
pipe.
Japanese? I was thinking about
No,
Japanese.
it is
pipe.
American-made pipe, Owensville, Missouri, the Union Pipe Company. And there is good chance it's from 1960s. Definitely no later than 1970s. Yeah, I'm wondering if anybody know anything about that Union Pipe Company.
Hey, David, Oliver's having an issue getting in. Can you post a link on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
the same problem with Tim as well. He's texting me like, hey. So what I did, I was going to mention that because when you were waiting the last, I don't know, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever, it was there. As soon as the waiting stopped, it disappeared, the Zoom link. So I had to go to, I don't know, Pipes Magazine and just link there.
Okay. I'm doing that right. Thanks for the heads up, guys. Uh, Done, posted. So something unexpected and totally inconvenient happened when we changed to a private group rather than public group. Suddenly, we can't share posts anymore. So where it used to be so convenient just to like send out all of the shares of the links and whatnot, now it's just more work. You know, but it sometimes doesn't work as well. Like I posted the link on a bunch of pages today, and I noticed that a lot of people didn't actually, like John messaged me with a screenshot of it, and it was like, well, that's not what I posted. I don't know why I didn't show, but other people were saying, yeah, it looks fine. So I don't know.
I had the same thing, David. It didn't make sense in the post I saw either. It was really weird. I actually had to look into an old message of our group to find the link because all the new posts you made were, yeah, I don't want to say nonsense, but they look like nonsense.
Yeah, same thing here. It didn't look right.
Yeah, yeah. In the words of the chairman of the board, that's live. What people say, you know.
Board. That's live.
Uh-oh.
David, you're just a newbie.
Okay.
He's just like that because he didn't get his sunburn yet.
I did not get my sunbear yet, and I'm furious about that.
He's just like that because he didn't get his sunburn yet.
Yeah, it's coming. I have the confirmation, but it's not going to be here till like maybe next weekend. Might be a little bit farther out. Yeah, I know.
What takes this so long?
Because smoking pipes doesn't like me that much, I guess.
Okay.
Have you ordered it to? He probably ordered it to Smoking Pipes Ireland.
Yeah, but I also ordered from another place too. I got a couple of tins, and I think it was 4 noggins. I should have gone directly to Country Squire. I didn't realize that they were carrying it, but for my money right now, Country Squire has the fastest turnaround on any ordering. So if you can find the tobacco you're looking for on Country Squire, that's where I'd order it from. I think
Tobacco.
John David personally goes and pulls it from the shelf.
TobaccoPipes.com really ships fast, especially out here, us being on the West Coast.
I agree with that. Tobacco Pipes, where I ordered mine, it's supposed to be here Monday. So.
Yeah, Smoking Pipes wouldn't ship it to me in Massachusetts because it's a flavored tobacco. And there's a ban in Massachusetts on flavored tobacco somehow. It's pretty much directed at the vaping crowd because they want to cut down on kids going after, candy cane vaping and all that baloney. But so it translated into somehow pipe tobacco. So I ordered it. I stayed up. I was up late anyway, so I ordered it late. And thankfully, I found out that Smoking Pipes wouldn't send it to me. So I went right over to Tobacco Pipes and had a couple cans sent. So still waiting on it, but it's coming.
Hey, Tim, didn't Massachusetts ban menthol as well?
Yeah, they did. They banned menthol and like all flavored kinds of cigarettes and whatnot. But pipe tobaccos just get funneled in under everything, even though they're really, the real problem is they don't want kids doing, buying, getting attracted to vaping flavors and flavored cigarettes. So, we just get lumped in under the whole umbrella of tobacco.
Yeah.
Which is not good, which is sad.
What you need, Tim, is some pipe smokers in the legislature. That's what you need.
That's exactly what we need. You're right. Thank you, Phil. That's a good comment.
We need a new legislature.
Yeah.
I was about to make some kind of comment about legislatures are filled with old white guys enough. I'm not sure. We had some young women of color who smoke tobacco in a pipe, and we'll be good to go. But I don't like. Don't you have an Indian casino out there, Tim, in Mass?
Oh yeah, there's two of them in Connecticut. There's Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun, and they just built a casino in Boston, the Encore, which is a really pretty good sized casino. So it just came to Massachusetts,
that's where you can get some of those otherwise banned tobaccos is on reservations.
Oh, yeah.
Where's
It's another
Millicent
country.
Fenwick when we need her?
Did you say Barbara Stanwyck? Was she a pipe smoker?
No, Millicent Fenwick.
Oh,
She was a legislator from, I think either Massachusetts or New Hampshire. Pipe smoker.
I think from Massachusetts, if I'm not mistaken.
It must be a global thing with the menthol flavored cigarettes in particular, because they were banned in the UK about a month ago. We're into August now. End of May, menthol cigarettes no more in the UK.
Bill, how much longer is Scotland going to be part of the UK?
That depends who you speak to. Yeah. Certainly the polls are suggesting that hey guys, I don't like speaking politics, but the UK government haven't dealt particularly well with COVID, whereas the Scottish government, we're down at very, very low numbers. I live in the region of 220,000, and we've had 2 cases in the last 6-7 weeks. 2 confirmed cases, so.
I love hearing that. That's really awesome.
Which is great. I've been at the bowling club all day today, and we're starting to open up a bit, which, everybody's a bit apprehensive about. But south of the border in England, in particular, they're having spikes of cases right, left, and centre because, just because of the density of the population, to be fair. But of course, that has a political impact in that, the Scottish government seem to be making a good job of it, getting on top of it, whereas the Westminster are struggling with it.
Well, and Scots always had been more practical people.
Yeah,
but I think you hit the nail on the head, Phil. It's also the density of the population. You got a lot of space, which makes it way harder to transit it than when you're looking at closely crowded spaces. It's a natural advantage, basically.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
I mean, we're 5 million, but we're very obviously you've got Glasgow and Edinburgh, the 2 big cities. But other than that, we're very spread out in what is quite a big country.
Well, that's why New York City was had highest number of cases because there are only 8 states in the nation which have population greater than New York City. We have between 8.5 and 9 million people living in this city, just within the city borders.
Yeah.
And I'm also assuming that all of us will be protected against COVID because of our nicotine intake, which
exactly
which has no actual science behind it, but I like to pretend.
Sure it does.
So,
have you ever heard of placebos, DDR?
Yeah, my entire life is based upon that notion. Yes.
Well, let's all just very firmly believe that we're on track of not getting infected. I think this is I strongly believe we are being very smart by doing what we're doing.
Yes. Yes. One of the many, many benefits of pipe smoking.
Exactly.
Is that we will survive the zombie apocalypse just fine. That's.
So for example, here in
I'll be very
Kentucky,
content.
there were about like 300 cases within 5 months of people dying. It's like probably New York, it was within a day or less.
Yeah, at the peak time, it was that number of cases in a day. Well, but they managed to take it under control pretty quickly. And considering the size of the city, the way city actually operates, I think they did pretty good job to keep it under control.
Bart, what are you
The
drinking
problem
today,
here
sir?
in the it's actually Hendon Single Estate Pure Jamaican rum, which is probably my favorite rum ever. I have a really weird tendency towards drinking Jamaican rum. For those who know Jamaican rum, they will know that it's an acquired taste. And this is because the fermentation that is happening in Jamaican rum, they actually use something called dunda, which is the sediment that's left in pits. Basically, the sediment that's left in the tank is scooped out and thrown in a pit. And in old days, they would add everything to this pit that was fermentable. So carcasses, all the greens that were left, like when you were making a soup, everything that you would have left, you would throw it in this pit and it would all ferment into this big, nasty, steaming pile. And actually, the how do I say, the foam that forms on these pits, that's what's used to set their new fermentation. So they actually use this goop and this gunk to set their new fermentation. And this gives Jamaican rum a very tropical vibe, unlike anything else. And you either love it or hate it. And when people smell this, like the dunda, they actually tell you it smells like death and disease. It's really nasty stuff, but it gives a wonderful taste.
Is
to
that
your
on the
rum.
label of the bottle there? Big skull and
No, but
crossbones on the label there.
They have a nice way of putting it. They say it has a high ester count, which basically means there's a lot of dead stuff in it. Very well marketed.
Well, I noticed, like on some of your posts on Facebook, that you have some really interesting beverages that you put up alongside your pipes, and I was like, I'll bet you're drinking something special today.
Yeah. Well, rum is really the poison of choice most days. I have a pretty extensive collection. Like you guys collect pipes, I collect rum.
Oliver posted that Zaya rum, and if anybody hasn't had it, it's amazing.
Where does it come from?
Zai is one of those sweet dark rums, similar to Zacapa, like Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva. It's from that family.
The only drawback is it will give you a real certified brown liquor hangover if you overindulge. All that sugar.
The thing is,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Super. Well, for those guys who just came in, as always, the floor is open to anything that we, come up with to talk about, share, spur of the moment kinds of ideas for conversation. But I thought that I would invite people to do a sharing of their pipe collection, whether it's just one pipe or if you brought like 3 or 4. Dimitri often brings a good selection to show some really interesting stuff. Tim was here, I think. Tim often has some really interesting pipes to show off. I brought some, and I actually going to fire up this pipe for the first time. This was this is a horn that I had commissioned, specifically from Abdul Kareem, and I've never smoked it yet, so I'm going to smoke it up today. So that's my idea for today. Just to give you guys a heads up on what's coming up next weekend. Oliver actually this was a brilliant idea to do, like, let's share notes about Sun Bear, since we know a lot of everybody, ordered some Sun Bear. So we're gonna have the Sun Bear roundtable, where we can all participate in the roundtable about what your impressions, opinions, reviews, and takeaways are on Sun Bear, so that we can make the rest of the pipe community jealous. I
So
think
for
that's-
today,
that's
just for
our
today,
main-
there will be a gag order on Sun Bear for those of us that already broke in.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, Todd. That's please do.
I guess I fall into that category. I broke into it last year, so.
Well, last year's blend is like, you can talk about last year's blend because it's going to be a little bit different.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
You're going to have some
Yep.
age on the old stuff. The new stuff.
I guess I'll have to open a new tin for next weekend.
That's right. That's right.
You know what's funny is I looked for it on tobacco reviews, and when you do the search, it doesn't show up.
Right.
If you Google it, if you Google Cornell and Deal Sun Bear small batch, then the TR review pops up.
Well, they actually do have one.
There is one, but you have to Google it. You can't get it through TR. Very strange. I was trying to figure that out. Anyway, I was reading the reviews, and based on my initial, it is different. It's slightly different from what I read.
Hey, thanks to Oliver. My name is Sun Bear.
Hey, Sun Bear, did you get a Sun Bear?
I did not, actually.
And you still haven't got one secured?
Caleb is sending me one next week.
Okay, good.
I just wanted to say that if anybody has, and it doesn't need to be a tin, because I posted a message saying if anybody has a tin spare, because there's no way I'm gonna get this in Europe, I'll be happy to trade or buy it or whatever. But I realize this is quite a limited product, so a tin might be a bit too much to ask. But if anybody can send a sample and make it so that it's for 2 people, I will make sure that I will send half of it to Phil so he can also try it. Because
Well,
he's in Europe, and any other Europeans that might need or want and are currently present, I'm happy to take like the central distribution for this. So if there's an option to send me some, I will distribute it in Europe free of cost.
Well, thanks for that, Bart. But can I say that I've actually taken a gamble and I've ordered 2 tins through Smoking Pipes. I got an order in. So when it arrives, I'll send some over to Holland.
Bart, I'll send you some, but based on our last shipment, it's going to probably be Christmas.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple of months.
Yeah.
True.
If my 2 tins appear,
I sent
Bart,
Bart some stuff, like, I don't know how many, like 2 months ago. And
It took like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took 10 weeks, and then I actually look what I'm smoking.
Nice.
That's one of your samples. So it's the Navy Flake you sent me. Good stuff.
Bart, where do you live?
The Netherlands.
Oh, all right.
See, that's the problem. And I'm quite surprised, Phil. You said you bought some of Smoking Pipes, but like the USA-based one.
Yeah.
That is a ballsy move, sir. I hope you get it.
well, it was $22 plus $6 postage. So if it arrives, brilliant. If not, it's no great loss. If it does appear though, Bart, I'll ship some over to you. No worries.
I am very happy to hear so, sir. Thank you in advance. Even if it doesn't arrive, I appreciate that.
Well, you guys want to maybe show off some of what you're smoking today? Stephen, what are you smoking there, sir?
Oh, this is some Peter Heinrichs Golden Flake. Have you ever had that?
I have not.
It's the same as Orlick's Golden Slice. As a matter of fact, I got these from tobaccopipes.com. I got their Golden Flake and then the Dark Strong, which is the same as Orlick's Dark Strong Kentucky. Comes in like a 7-ounce tin. And I think the big difference, especially with the Orlick Dark Strong, is when you buy the regular tin of Orlick, you know, they're beautiful flakes, right? This stuff looks like they put it in a paint shaker and shook it up for about a half hour, and it's all over the place, but it's still the same stuff. Maybe it's stuff that just didn't flake out right for them and they ended up in a barrel. But
Smokable seconds.
yeah, maybe. I remember I was watching a YouTube, Brennan, and he was talking about it, and he was convinced that, was it K&P makes both of them for both Orlick and for Peter Heinrich.
I had a chance to smoke both a long time ago, and I gotta say the Orlick Golden Slice versus.
Oops, David, I'm sorry, I pushed the wrong button there, brother. I meant to enlarge your photo.
Okay, somebody can talk. I'm mute. No. Yeah. So both the Dark Fire is exactly the same. Doesn't matter if it came broken. I luckily got, I think, a 200 tin, and it was perfect. It was all stuck to it.
Oh,
exactly the same. But there is a difference between the Golden Slice from Orlick or Peter Heinrich. Peter Heinrich is more like pure Virginia, more grassy, citrus, lemony, while Orlick Golden Slice has a little bit more Perique. That's the only difference.
I'm curious.
What about the Dark Strong Kentucky?
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
When I opened the 200 tin, I was like, oh my. I didn't care much for the Orlick one, and now I'm have to finish this. So one of my coworkers started on a pipe thing. I just gave him probably, I don't know, 150 grams of that. It's like, yeah, you can have it. I don't care for. And what I did with the rest is like, I didn't care much for the Dark Fire. So I just cut it in half and I get all the Virginia and I only smoke the Virginia. I think it was, don't you think it was kind of too sweet, too aromatic, too much goopy and so much topping?
My tongue isn't that smart.
Well, I was going to ask, do you think there's a difference to the taste from a flake or a roll whole or rubbed out? Do you think once you rub it out, it has a different flavor?
I think it burns faster.
Yes, it definitely the way if you just fold the flake or you rub it out partially or completely, it will affect the burn rate. The smaller the parts, the more you rub it out, the faster it will burn. But burn rate can affect the flavor. So the way the flavor delivered into your system, that's the only way it will affect the flavor. The fast it burns, hotter it burns, actually, probably less sweetness you'll get.
I was curious about this because of some of you know that I drink tea and I have a lot of mental comparisons between tobacco and tea. And it's like we can enjoy bagged tea. Right? Oftentimes you have tea bags and you make tea out of bagged tea and you can enjoy the flavor of it. But tea bags is literally the shit that they sweep up off the floor. It's
yeah, that's why I never use them. Only real whole leaf tea.
Right, because the whole leaves. I mean, it is the same tea, but the whole leaves release more alkaloids, which are the things that you get the flavor from. So I'm always curious about whether that might be true for, if you're looking at a pressed tobacco that we might assume has a whole leaf in it or bigger parts of a leaf, originally, but then when you rub it out, you're going to break that up into smaller pieces. So I'm like, does that affect?
No, I think it's pressing tobacco. It's basically a way to accelerate its aging.
Yeah.
And if it's a blend, so flavors of different leaves will like marry together, merge together much faster if it's pressed rather than it's in like loose particles.
What about crumble cake?
Well, crumble cakes, then again, crumble cake, basically, you take already cut tobacco, blend it, but then by pressing it, you accelerate merging of all the flavors together. Because as a amateur blender myself, I know if I just blend the tobacco, it's not ready to smoke. It needs to sit for minimum a week, sometimes few months before it's really ready to smoke. Pretty much same thing with a cigar. And Michael Shortlatz, Vice President of Nat Sherman, always likes to explain it in a very interesting way. Like if you're making chicken soup, you put in your kettle water, put chicken, vegetables, and if you taste it right away, what will you taste? Water with a little bit of flavors from everything else. But if you let it simmer for a few hours, then you get the soup. Same like with the tobacco blending. If you just put everything together, you can get a little bit of each flavor, but it will not be a flavor of the blend. It needs to sit for some time, and pressing tobacco and sometimes heating it will accelerate that process of aging.
Yeah, I was gonna put the same example as Dimitri, kind of, old fashioned, your mothers used to make the broth with the bones that they get at the butcher versus just getting a normal broth at the supermarket. That's what.
So here's an interesting thing. If you buy some Orlik Golden Slice in the 50-gram tin, you will get it as a little flake. In a 100-gram tin, you will get a strand.
Yeah.
So, and I don't taste any different between this, both.
I always buy the 100-gram tin when I do. I like the way it comes.
It's kind of when you get the flakes, they kind of marinate better for the same amount of money versus the ribbon one. Like another example, let's say you marinate some chicken with barbecue sauce or whatever you want to put on it for a couple hours before you cook. It's going to be tasting stronger than if you just cook the chicken by itself and then you add the barbecue sauce after, before you eat it.
Got it. David, what are you smoking today?
I'm just smoking, this is like a Comoy Grand Slam from 1930. And I just decided to put some brown flake, like Germain's brown flake.
Very nice. Hey, Tim Hummer, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you, sir.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah.
I got a Peterson today. It's not necessarily my favorite pipe, but it's a good smoker. It's an XL15 is the number on it. I have all kinds of favorite pipes depending upon what I want to smoke and where I'm smoking and when and what I'm putting in the pipe. So, but today I've got, I guess that's backwards.
Green River Vanilla.
Yeah. It's a wet tobacco, comes very wet in the tin, so I have to pack it very lightly, that or let it sit a while. But it's very tasty.
I see several Petersons out there.
Yep.
How many of us are smoking Petersons?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Zach, are you smoking a Peterson?
Yes, I am.
It looks like a deluxe. Is that a deluxe?
It is actually a Mark Twain.
Oh, Mark Twain, great pipe. I love it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
great.
it's not a serialized big dollar one, but it is from the 82 to 89 era. It's
Yeah, that is a great shape. And I think, you know what? There are other shape 303 is very, very similar to the Mark Twain shape.
Mhm.
So if you want another one, if you want another shape like that and don't want to spend the money you have to spend on a Mark Twain, you can get a 303.
I bought this one very, very used, and it cleaned up nicely. So
Yeah, I
we'll
was going to
see.
remark, it looks in great shape, Zach.
Yeah, it's pretty good shape.
Yeah, it looks.
It was
really
all
good.
it was all charred around the rim and stuff when I got it, and kind of dull. The stem was all oxidized, so it took some work, but it was worth it. And I'm not a Peterson guy, so I took the time to do it.
I'm curious, how many of you guys save your dawdle, your ashes?
No.
I put them in the compost pile.
So I save my ashes because you can take your ashes and use it to polish the silver on your Peterson pipes. You take a cloth or a paper towel, you take the ash and just lightly rub it around there, and it'll polish those things up just like brand new. So when they tarnish up, go for some of your ashes. You don't have to put any kind of liquid silver cleaner on there. There you go.
That
Great
is why
suggestion.
the Virtual Pipe Club is the best place to be on a weekend. Right there.
Todd, I noticed you have a Genesis, a Trick of the Tail shirt on. Are you a progressive rock fan?
You know, when the last meeting I had, the Landlines down on Broadway, my granddaughter bought me a couple of these Genesis shirts. They really were kind of like, they were the soundtrack to my high school years. Those two albums in particular.
Those were classic Genesis albums.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolute classic. With Steve Hackett played on those. I mean, just a great band. I mean, they've been together for 40 years. I mean, they've gone through a lot of changes, but nothing beats their earlier stuff.
Yeah, Selling England by the Pound, Nursery Crime. Yeah, I was a big fan.
I've gone to see Steve Hackett on his past several tours that he's done. He's done several Genesis revisited tours, and he also has a couple CDs out. He plays all the old Genesis stuff, which is really great. He does a great recreation.
There's a cover band called the Musical Box.
Oh yeah, I've got tickets for them. The show's been postponed 3 times, but I have tickets for it sometime, maybe in the fall. It'll be.
They are absolutely amazing. I've seen them 3 times in San Francisco. You think you're watching the original band with Peter Gabriel.
I'm so looking.
Just wanna. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm good.
I just want to say that DDR keeps telling you and us how ancient you guys are. Well, actually, Genesis, I know that stuff too. I've listened to that. Just want to step in and say, it's not just for the old guys, I listen to that stuff too.
Bach, Beethoven, Genesis.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you know that Paul McCartney used to be a part of a band?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And actually, 2 different bands.
Yes.
DDR, do I get like my dinosaur driving license now?
Yes.
Cool.
By the way, Bart, you should talk to Patrick Grant about Jamaican rum.
Oh, we could have a conversation on that one.
Yeah, well, we'll pick it up after the club, but I'll be glad to share ideas with you. I pretty much drink, well, I don't want to say exclusively Jamaican, but it's the only thing I drink with true passion.
Have you ever tried the Jamaican overproof rum?
Of course. I have several overproof ones. I think the stiffest one is like 69, which is Rumfire.
Yeah, the other one. Go on.
Go on.
The one I like is the one from Ray and Nephew, which is about, you buy here in the States, it's about 63% alcohol, so that's 120, 126.
I actually
That's
have
a
that
good one.
bottle on the closet, so I know exactly what you mean. Ray and Nephew, and I think Rum Bar makes a very similar white rum, which is also really nice. If you like the Ray and Nephew, give that one a shot too.
Oh, I will have to.
I was going to mention when you're talking about favorites, these are my favorites for mowing lawn. The bottom one's an Old Medico, or yeah, I think the bottom one's an Old Medico, but they're both almost burned through on the bottom. But they're the ones that if a branch knocks them out of my teeth and I run over them with the tractor, oh well.
Good to have a few of those. Yeah. I've got all these really lovely pipes in the cabinet, but I have these 3 that were ones I bought, really early when I was starting to collect pipes. And they're like that. They were totally beat up when I bought them from eBay, and they're the one, like, I walk the dog a lot, and I have lost several pipes walking the dog. These are like indestructible and unlosable. Like they just keep coming back. They're zombie pipes. It's good to have.
Well, the cheaper the pipe, the less chance of losing you'll have.
Your most expensive pipe is the one you break, and your most expensive pipe's the one you break, and the cheapo's the one you keep finding all the time.
Exactly. Murphy's Law, least desirable is most probable.
Yeah.
Somebody had a big calabash there. Bud, was that you? There we go.
me. Oh, that's nice.
Piping ain't easy. This is a Kamoy.
Beautiful.
What year is that?
Monster.
Piping ain't easy had sent me a, hey, we got a sale on, and I went out and checked out there. They have a lot of estate pipes, and this was there, and it really, a calabash wasn't in my collection, and so I thought, well, this looked pretty good, and I looked at the price, and it was around $100, and the I looked it up elsewhere, and it was way over that, and I thought, well, maybe I ought to get it while it's a good deal. So plus it was, I got $9 off, and they threw in a shirt on top of it. So I got a Piping Ain't Easy shirt too.
300. Yeah, looks like $300 calabash.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a nice
doubles
smoker.
As a Viking
you know what I
beer
mean?
stein,
So,
it looks like there.
it's got the the meerschaum insert cork inside, and it's got a little briar connector to the stem kind of deal. So
now, is that an actual gourd?
Yeah, actual gourd. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's really straight too. I don't know if you guys could tell, but some of them they kind of get bent to one side or another, but this one's I'm really happy with this. So this is one of my latest acquisitions, I guess. So we're talking PAD here, right? So
beautiful. That's
right. I do have a calabash like that on my list. It's on the to buy list, not the maybe not in the immediate future, but it's on the list. I do like
kind of the way it was for me. It was like certain things. It's like, well, if I see a deal on one, you know what I mean, I'll look at it kind of deal. And this just happened to pop up. So
exactly.
I have absolutely fallen in love with Lane and Dula. I really love the cigar leaf, and I've been smoking about 6 bowls a day in this workhorse Morgan Bones. I just love this tobacco.
That's one I don't have. Everybody really praises the Bones pipes, and I don't have one.
It's time, David. It's time.
You think? I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, I want to get one too. I've heard nothing but great things about them.
And I mean, for the price of 2 tins, you have an practically indestructible pipe that smokes well, and Chris stands behind them. If there's anything that doesn't work, if it's cracked or any problem you have, he stands fully behind them. So that's
Well, and because it's not finished, it develops character over time too.
yeah, it's self colors. This is not a paid promotion.
I've got 2 of them and I smoke them all the time. They are literally the nicest pipes to have for that money. I think it's impossible to find a nicer one. I can show you. That's my Hanging Brady, which I'm currently smoking. I was actually gifted by Chris. And then a little while later, I bought a stubby pot. And just for the money, they are insane. They smoke so well. It's ridiculous.
That's
one of the few pipes I never relied.
That's the big thing. The price. What you get for the money is a good value.
I want a second or third or fourth that. The bones, I have 3 of them. I got all the 3 small ones. The pit bull, I think it's called the ants, and the low, what's it called? Low hanging, the one you just showed.
Yeah, the Hanging Brady, the Hanging
Yeah.
Brandy.
Hanging Brandy. The 3 of them are just awesome, and they're already changing color. It's just cool to look at. It's like a meerschaum, but a briar. Looking at it change color, it's pretty cool.
And they are just ridiculously cheap. I mean, even here in Europe, you pay very little money for them. I think if you buy them in the US, they are like $35 or something. It's truly ridiculous. They
That's what I
are
paid.
so cheap. And he has sometimes really nice. It sounds like I'm affiliated with him. I just want to say I'm not. I'm just very enthusiastic about his pipes, and I think he's a cool dude. A little while ago, he had like a Veterans Day thing where he basically gave away a large part of the profit of each of the pipe he sold at a certain amount to a veterans fund, stuff like that. I think this guy is pretty legit. Let's put it like that.
Bud, what's this? Is this a Morgan?
And he also makes really.
This is the pipe he was talking about, Sparky. So it's a little Dublin, basically, kind of thing that he donated.
Nice.
He donated a bunch. It's got a really, the stem itself is almost just like a Cumberland, you know what I mean, kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's a cool pipe. So
Is it
that's similar to,
weighs an ounce.
yeah, it's similar to my Morgan Bones. Love it.
Yep.
Yeah. Really nice.
You guys are talking about, this is probably older than all of you. I got this back in the late 60s.
You can't go wrong. So,
And yeah, the price was a lot better then too. And then I got its little son after that. And then this is probably my oldest. When I first started buying from stores, I liked the freehand ideas. And this is a Ben Wade. And this is a good 50 years old, I guess.
Wow.
So much for being old.
Wow, that's a nice calabash collection there, Stephen.
I was talking with Tim Heinig about it because we trade a couple pipes. And the last time when I was gonna sell the one that came from him, he was out on a trip. I got this Ardor from him on a trade for those Peterson Serlahons.
Nice.
That is a really, what do you call that? Is that like a poker? Would you call it?
It's like, well, it's more like a cherry, but
That's a cherry wood.
yeah.
It's a
What it
cherry
was
wood.
insane is the fact that when I saw the picture, oh, I love it. And when it came in the mail, the Comoy I'm smoking is a group 3, a medium. Check it out.
Oh my God.
Holy cow.
I call it the branch.
Yeah.
Well, Outdoor is known for large pipes. Outdoor has some super giants, like you feel it, and hefty of tobacco gun.
But the good thing is it clinches really well. And even though it's heavy, it's not so much when you clinch it on your chin.
Or your chest.
If I lay down, yes. If I lay down, I do. So thank you very much, Tim. That's a good trade.
Well,
So-
thank you, David. And this is the Peterson Sherlock Holmes Watson that I acquired in the trade. And so I'm working on putting together the 7-day set. It's going to take me a little while to find them all and get them together, but I've got in that trade, I've got this one and the original. And it's really interesting in the rack. They're kind of bookending, the ends of the rack. So, David kind of helped me get my 7-day set going with the one on each side. So I got to fill in and everything in between, but it's in really, really good shape. And it's a really nice smoker. I just love how, I like how this series, the pipes are all just a little bigger. They're all like Group 5s. And I just like that. So it's really a, wonderful thing to have this club and be able to, I hear guys talking about trade and sending each other tobacco and helping each other out. It's really, I think, what makes this group so awesome.
I mean, I'm so happy that both of us are happy. If that's
Oh,
a Group 5, this is a Group 6.5.
Oh yeah, I'm sure of it.
The good thing is the ball is not that wide, as you can see. It's like, I'm gonna say with my pinky, it's almost the whole pinky, but it's not wider than the pinky.
A good thick wall in the bowl there, then you don't have to worry about it getting too hot with all the.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
And those Peterson that he has are thick as well.
Yeah, they're big pipes. They're definitely, the walls, definitely thick.
Glenn, you had a calabash there you were holding up there.
Yeah, this is about 4.5 inches high and it's got a 3-inch cap. One of 4 that I have. And it's very well colored.
Yeah.
Got a nice amber shade to it.
Now, what's it like,
Some,
so all you guys who have calabashes, like compared to even a bent or a church warden with the big log stem there, does it really cool off the smoke? And
Yes, it does. It cools it a lot. And also that large empty chamber below the bowl, it accumulates all the moisture and tar, so you get very clean smoke.
And then I imagine you take that moisture and send it to that place that makes Bart's rum.
The only thing I was thinking is when I heard Glenn said it's about 4 inches tall with a 3-inch shaft, I was like, that's probably how my wife describes me to our colleagues. But
Hey guys, since y'all
You had to go there.
TMI.
it was too easy. I'm
Indeed,
sorry.
indeed,
Right.
TMI.
I was about to say, so earlier somebody said that they were ridiculously cheap, and I was going to say, well, that's my wife's nickname for me. So
Be roll, man. We can do this. It's fine.
Here's my tip for the day. If you look at the bottom of this pipe, there's no staining at all. It's the same amber color as the rest of it. And the trick is when I smoke my calabashes, I roll up a single toilet paper tissue into a small ball. I drop that into the bottom of the gourd, and it collects all the moisture and doesn't stain the gourd. You just throw it away when you're done.
Nice.
And Glenn, if you don't want to do it every time, or this is for everybody, what I do, I get a pipe cleaner and I just twirl it around and I just put it at the bottom and throw it away, put the new one every couple of smokes.
Yeah, that works.
Nice.
Actually, I can
Todd,
show
what
you.
have you got out of your collection that you're smoking today? Todd.
I've got the, this is one of my Dunhills, well, my only Dunhill now. This is the first time I've smoked a briar in probably 5 months. And I'm smoking some Hearth and Home Black House. That was the tobacco that won I think it was the 2011 Sobernies 759 contest.
Yes.
I never, I never had,
957.
yeah, I never had the original Sobernie, but if this is what it tasted Like it's amazing. So I saw somebody posted a review on it recently, and I said, you know what, I haven't smoked that in years. So I went to my closet and pulled some out, and I smoked a bowl this morning in a clay. And I wanted to just see the difference between a clay and a briar. There's a slight difference. The briar imparts it's not bad. It just imparts a little something, and I haven't been able to put my finger on it. But it is slightly different than a clay, and I would almost say it's a little bit more than slightly different. So we were talking about price points. I bought this several years ago. I bought 2 Dunhills at the same time. This one was like $580, and I bought one of their Briars, which was almost $800.
Wow.
I know. I think I was drunk when I bought the thing. So the story, the very first time I smoked the Briar, this is a 2, the Briar was a 3. I smoked the Briar. I got up the next morning, and when I started to clean it, I ran a brush into the chamber, and oh my God, there was a huge divot on the side of the wall where it had burned out. And I was like, I didn't set that thing on fire. I was smoking it normal, and I called Smoking Pipes, and I said, hey man, and what I think, they credited my account. I sent them the pipe, and I think, and what they think was that there was a piece of sand or something that was pitted in the briar. Because, like I said, I was telling them, I said, it's not like I was smoking that thing like a freight train. I always watch my pace and watch my cadence. I'm trying to smoke it cool. Yeah. So no more Dunhills for me. This one will do me. It's fine.
Like probably 99% of the pipes we buy are going to be just fine, but you just never know like what's underneath the outer layer of the briar. I mean, there could have been a weaker part in there, and the heat just hit it and burned it out, but when they finished the pipe, it may have been like so much on the surface in between the walls, between the inner and outer wall, you can't really detect it unless you see it. So it was just probably bad luck.
Yeah. They need to do MRI scans on their briar.
Yeah, I
agree.
Yeah. You know how much that $800 pipe would cost then?
But
David, I
especially
think
with
mine's
most
bigger than yours,
producers
David.
Nice, well
I know those
played.
ones are.
It's a Big Gene by Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
They must have taken this right off next to the trunk.
I've seen some of them in some conventions, and they're like huge, but they're not that heavy. That's the good thing about it.
No, they're not, but they really have a thick wall. You can light this
is
with
the
a flamethrower.
tadpole version. Right.
Yeah, I've got that one too.
This is so tiny compared to that.
Glenn, this is the one I have for you. That's the calabash I have. And it's, I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better or worse, but do you
Oh,
see
that's
it? I have
nice.
to change that one.
Yeah, that's clean.
That's normally what I do for that. I just put the pipe cleaner and I just swirl it there, and that's how it looks.
Yeah, mine's totally different, and it's all black inside, and that's why it's so dark on the outside.
I brought this one for Phil. This is a Neerup Peter Jeppesen freehand. Probably one of my favorite briars to smoke. It's just a geological, acres of plateau on top, 4 ounces. And I just love the way this thing heats up in the hand. Briar season for me is the winter. And so when I'm outside and it's cold and I've got this thing, it's just a great hand warmer. Massive bowl. I got a couple of his free hands. This one's a sitter.
It's beautiful.
Showcasing what I've got here. Yeah, another. I love the plateau on this.
Todd, I have several near ups. I don't have any free hands like those. Those ones you have, those are really beautiful. What I like about his pipes, I think they're very artistic. He always has some kind of, adornment on them, like a band, like some sort of silver work or some colored stems. And, I really like his price points. I mean, they're super reasonable prices for what you get. And I met him once. Our club had Near Up do a club pipe for us one year, and we wound up. He happened to be in the country, and we met him up at Cup of Joe's in New York, where I just he brought all the pipes and we paid him, and we just took the exchange. He's a really nice guy. He brought a whole bunch of his there. He was selling in the store. He was having like a trunk show. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. This is another one that he did with the green Malish.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, Todd, I'm sorry, I pushed the wrong button there. Can you put
Yeah, Todd, remember we were having the discussion online about that, but I was looking to buy an Near Up for getting through the session in college this year. And bought this for, now I don't know if you'll see that with a light, but the grain on this is fantastic. Paid just over £100 for it, so maybe, I don't know, 130, 140 bucks. And it has the kind of marble effect. It's just a lovely looking thing.
That is
That
nice.
is a nice looking pipe, Phil.
Very nice.
Yeah, I love the colors on the Near Up pipes.
Here's my Near Up acorn.
That's beautiful, man.
That's sharp too.
Yep.
I'm thinking of getting the Near Up apple.
So nice.
Quite a few Near Ups in this group, looks like. So there's another Near Up too.
Just when I thought that I wasn't going to buy any more new pipes, now I've got to buy a Morgan Bones and a Near Up, and I don't have a Calabash. I'm fucked. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. I got the near. Now I have the Near Up on the list after the Calabash. So.
Hey, and that's only 1 week.
That's all in 1 week.
Yeah. Come back next week to see our suggestions and how we rule you into financial distress.
Yes, or bachelorhood. One or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 30 briars, and if I'm going to stay married, I have to keep it to 30. I'm lucky that my wife will let me buy. When I bought the Sun Bear, I only bought 4 tins. I should have pulled the trigger on 10, gag order on Sun Bear. But, my wife, I got the whole closet is just jam packed with tobacco. And she's, honey, what are you doing spending, 120 bucks on tobacco? Jesus, so the tobacco I can buy, I gotta cool it on the pipes.
Why don't you guys combine or compare your tobacco versus her makeup stuff and see how much it spends?
Oh, that's a big no-no. You never
I don't
do
want to
that,
go
man.
there.
Well,
I don't want to go there.
when she found out how much I paid for those Dunhills, the purse I had to buy was $1,500.
You can always say it was $10 per tin.
Yeah.
Well, again, I mean, not only the makeup, but if you ask about handbags and clothes, dresses, things like that.
How about shoes?
Oh, yeah, don't forget shoes.
Yeah, don't forget about
That's
shoes.
irrelevant.
Don't forget shoes, absolutely.
I was just trying to be easy on Todd. Just one article, just one thing, not many.
Yes, that's right. Honey, it was only.
Well, I
That's
think
a gun.
us pipe smokers should use the same technique as Gracie Allen did. You buy, she would buy 10 dresses, send 7 of them back, so George is happy and she has 3 dresses.
And another thing is that those dresses are gonna last maybe 10, 15 years. Those pipes and tobaccos, you can have it for at least 60 years.
Yeah, but again, you should buy 10 pipes, send 7 of them back, so and make you happy. So she'll see you comply, and you send 7 back, and you end up with the 3 new pipes.
I found a better way to do it. I bought my wife a $200 golf bag. She said, "I don't play golf." I said, "Okay, I'll keep it."
That's right.
Worked out fine.
This is now the Virtual Pipe Club rule. Only buy pipes and tobacco for your wives.
Right.
I like that.
And then be gentlemanly to take it off their hands when they don't. want
Yeah,
to.
but
doesn't
what
work.
if she'll decide she wants to smoke them now? Then she'll take all your pipes as well.
When, you know, every now and then, whenever we go to a different place, you know, I'm always seeking out pipe shops, and my wife has come into pipe shops with me. She's always drawn towards the straight grains. Oh, look at this beautiful grain on this. Yeah, that's an $800 Castello. That's not going to happen. No, I'm looking at things substantially less than that.
But maybe she wants to buy it for you.
Well, yeah, well, I try to forbid that kind of stuff.
For that money, he can get the other 6 or 7 Peterson he has left.
Absolutely, my thinking exactly.
I had just a couple weeks ago, I only had 27 pipes. My brother, he's 5 years older than me. He was still smoking cigars, and I was trying to tell him, dude, you need to, you're wasting money, man. You need to try the pipes. His birthday came around, and I just pulled the trigger. I bought him a couple of 3 Peterson pipes, a Dracula, this guy here, and I bought a ton of pipe cleaners. I gave him some of my tobaccos. I put it all in a big box. I sent him some, you know, obsidian oil, and I gave him all the instructions. So I sent him all that, and then all of a sudden he gets on a health kick, and he's not going to smoke tobacco anymore. So he sent it all back to me. So that's how I acquired my last 3 briars.
I think that with your pipe collections, it's like my gun collection. I'm worried that when I die, my wife will sell them for what I told them that I paid for them.
Well, you got a
have to have a
solution for
secret
that. Just
document
put it on your
behind it.
testament, then the gun itself with the price, and she will know how much money she will get. 5 days before you're about to pass.
Yeah, of the 30.
I think I won't make 5 days after she finds out what they cost, to be honest.
Bart, you need a son to pass them along to.
Yeah, true.
Of all my briars, this El-Tang Poker is the best smoking. You know, we had that meeting with Per Jensen, and I was talking about it, and he said, send Tom an email about the stem. The stem broke on it. It was a defect. So I sent Tom an email. He said, send me the stem. And this morning I opened up my email. I was gonna, you know, send him another note just to check up on it, and I opened it up, and there was the email from him, and he told me that the stem is on the way. But yeah, this is a little smoking machine, man. I can't wait to get that stem back.
Yeah, I really like those Tom El-Tang pipes, and I like his I like the Sarah El-Tang line as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have one of each of those.
Yeah,
'cause I
little,
can't
little
afford it.
Were you
pricey.
here when we had Tom El-Tang as a guest?
No, I missed that one. No.
Great show.
Time
Like,
for
I
it.
Watch it on
currently-
YouTube if you haven't already.
I currently picked up the clay pipe that Oliver recommended for the club. I picked that one up this week, and then I was talking or chatting with a few of the guys, and this is the 303 Peterson that I got in Dublin last year, that my wife and daughters picked up for me. So this is my prized possession of my Petersons. But I also have this one, and I wanted to show. It's a Peterson 03 summertime. It's got a nice little stem on it.
That's a great colored stem.
Yeah.
Like that a lot.
And then I think I showed this one to you guys once before. This is my Boswell. This is what I'm smoking today. This the Boswell. It's got all that rustication on it.
It's from 2005.
Hey Google, zet de lamp in de woonkamer aan.
And I'm smoking in this. I'm smoking that tobacco that we can't talk about today.
That tobacco that shall remain nameless until next week.
Yeah.
Like speaking of that, I mean, pipes that I really like these Aston, the stem and everything, stick, like in Random One, or this Rinaldi that I smoke a lot with the grain. But I grew up with Petersons because that's what my dad and my uncle used to have in Spain when they grew up. And this one belongs to my dad. It's a 307, like Sandblast from, I think, 66, 67, something like that.
Wow, nice.
If I go to an island, I have to get rid of my over 100 pipes that I have. I'll go with this one. I don't care about Dunhills, Castellos, or whatever the case is. I'll go with this 307, period. It smokes well. It was not that expensive, I believe, but it belongs to my dad. That's what it matters to me.
That's a very, very special pipe. Very special.
May I share?
Absolutely.
May I share?
Go right ahead.
Peter, go ahead.
All right. Well, I saw DDR's video. He said, bring something special. So I grabbed a couple that are kind of my fancy schmancy ones. So I'll start. I got two. This is a Dunhill Amber Root, size 5. It's pretty big. It's commemorating the Battle of Trafalgar. It was 200-year anniversary. And the part that's actually cool is the tamper. It's got the white dot in it. Oops, white dot. This is actually here. I'm not good with the camera deal. Anyway, this tamper is actually fabricated from teak wood that's actually from the deck of the HMS Victory, which was the British, you know, the lead ship of the British fleet in that battle. And it was like a special thing that Dunhill came out with in a gift box, a real fancy, really expensive, but really cool. And I've actually never smoked this pipe yet. I was going to save it for when I retire and smoke it when I retire. Maybe that's dumb because I might die before I retire, but that's one pipe. That's kind of a fun, weird one. And then I have this pipe. This is my littlest pipe. That's little. Okay. That's like a crack pipe. And this is my big pipe.
Wow.
That's big.
Whoa.
It's really huge. It's a Moretti from Italy.
You win.
Yeah. It's just giant. I mean, okay, it's by my head.
Oh my God.
And
I'm a giant. I'm 6'4", and my head is not a pinhead. I have a proportional head. So you get the idea of the mass of this. I mean, it's not a clencher, you know.
So that's got to weigh a pound.
And it's very heavy, and the grain is spectacular. It's like mint. There's like one tiny sand pit in this thing. Otherwise, it's just minto. It's a beautiful pipe, and this actually was not that expensive. He must have been in need of cash because this went pretty cheap. But that's gosh, I'm terrible with camera, but that's a giant pipe.
Can you imagine when he found that block of briar?
Oh man, you could make a lot of pipes.
What am I going to do with this? I can't make it any smaller. It's just too beautiful.
Yeah. It's like this could have been a whole bunch of pipes. I mean, it's a big sucker. So thank you for letting me share.
So as long as we're sharing some big pipes, I have this Mario Grandi big stacked poker. This thing is, you know, and it's got this really nice sandblast on it. And this is definitely like a Sunday afternoon Patriots game pipe. I mean, this is going to go for a bunch of hours, but it's just, I like it. It's just so gigantic.
So Tim, which one is your smallest pipe? Because you seem to have only big ones.
Oh, okay. So this is a tiny little K&P Peterson. If we compare it to you know, a club pipe, we can see the difference in size. Peterson club pipe versus this little thing. So this is probably about one of my smallest. But I gotta say, this is one hell of a good smoker for a tiny little pipe, a nice little quick smoke. It's wonderful.
I've got this Krebin home.
I've probably sent, there's probably an additional 20 pipes, maybe a few more that I actually, I bought. They didn't smoke right. You know, it's like we were talking with Brian Levine last week, you know, and like tobacco, sometimes a pipe just doesn't work. And one of the pipes that I sent back was a Peterson house pipe. You know, I bought the house pipe. I wanted a big bowl that I could sit and smoke all day. Well, my God, that thing, it was like smoking a house, literally. I mean, it was just too big and too much.
This is my smallest pipe.
Oh,
Shoot, so this was the Dublin that I was smoking earlier. This is one of the Kareem pipes. That's I don't know, a class 3 maybe. And this is the comparison, how tiny that it really like 1 or 2, like it's a 10-minute pipe. And it's got this beautiful stem on it. I never smoke it because I always want to smoke for longer. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it, to be honest with you.
is that a horn stem?
It's not. It's acrylic of some kind, I'm pretty sure. Almost feels plastic, to be honest with you. But I sent it into smokingpipes.com, or not Smoking Pipes, but Briarville, and they did a beautiful cleanup job on it and sent this back. So
Nice looking pipe.
Here's my smallest. It's a Tom Thumb.
So
So my smallest is this Stanwell Apple. That's about as small as I got right now.
Pipe same as you. Mine is Born State, and it is from Agro, the beginning of the Big Ben company. It's very vintage. It's actually.
Oh, wow. That's some stinger.
that is some stinger.
It's
That's a,
made of the whole. How think it's as small as my pipe.
that's your smallest pipe, Saeed?
Yeah.
Nice.
I would like to show you my early birthday present from my lovely wife.
Ooh, nice.
It's a new Elegance from Savinelli. It's a 320. It's a very nice pipe. I like it a lot.
That's a great shape.
Yeah. So, and also with the spigot, that's pretty new. I like that.
I was going to say, I don't recognize, or I haven't seen a spigot on the 320 before.
Yeah, that's very nice. So, and I have another one. Maybe my biggest and most expensive pipe is my Davarine mortar. It's very, very huge. You can put your thumb in it. So it's a huge bowl. Maybe compared to the other 320, it's very big.
Before I leave, I heard that Morta is very light. Is that true? It's very light.
It's
like wood.
it's light. It's a big one, but it's very light. It could be a clincher. It's a big one, but it could be a clincher. So, and I have another one. Maybe it's a little bit interesting for someone. It's my Altinai Meerschaum, and here in Windy City, it's sometimes not bad to have a lid on it. So it's sterling silver. I like it.
Nice.
And the last one is also a mortar, and I like the shape. It's a freehand mortar from a German pipe maker. It calls Lucifer's pipe. It's a very nice thing.
Oliver,
Very
do you
light.
get much use out of your mortars? Are you smoking your mortars?
Yeah.
Yeah. This one is a mortar also. Once I did that review with all those different pipes, now I'm just looking for an excuse to smoke mortars as much as I can.
Hey, David, you might want to check your microphone. You're barely coming through.
Yeah. The
Concur.
cause for the heavy sigh is I spent all day yesterday working on audio balancing with all of my gear here. I got brand new software for audio mixing and everything. And by last night, finally, I had gotten all the audio perfect. And I went to bed and I got up early this morning because I teach an early morning class. Nothing worked. So I barely got this microphone working. I apologize for the soft sound there. But I carry my own little Mercury in retrograde around with me when it comes to gear. It's just
Since there is like plenty of Peterson lovers, these are my teeny tiny ones. The Tankard.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice shape.
And I call the girly one the barrel. It's just
nice.
So light.
I like that.
I mean,
that's cool.
That's a present from my friend Nico from Chile, and it came like it was actually like smooth, but the previous owner just probably hit it or something. And my best friend here, Jim, we are lucky because he normally fixes our pipes for a good price, and he sandblasted.
Nice.
Those are the kind of teeny tiny girly Petersons I have.
You know, speaking of Peterson, this one has an interesting story behind it. I always liked the B42 shape, so I bought one, and it's got that system standard where it catches, you know, the moisture in the bottom. Well, this one gurgled like crazy, and finally took it apart and looked in there, and apparently somebody went to lunch before they drilled that little drain plug. So I got a hold of Peterson, and it was maybe a few weeks afterwards, I get this package comes through the front door, and it's from Dublin, Ireland. And I had to sign for it. And it was a Peterson Deluxe B42. And there was a note in there from, I think his name was Connor Palmer.
Connor, yeah. Factory manager.
Yeah, and he had sent a little apology letter, and he said, I hope that, you know, this one works better for you. It was really nice. It was a real light blonde color, which I wasn't crazy about, but boy, did that thing get dark after smoking it.
I love that. I love that shape. I just got this. This is the Peterson B42 in the what they call the dark. I guess it's a darker stain, but
yeah,
I was really pleased when this showed up because it's got some really nice cross-cut grain on it.
Oh
yeah.
Wow!
Once again, you know, it's really. I mean, I was really impressed with the cross-cut grain. It's got some great bird's eye on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you know, I mean, you know, I was just happened to be going through the internet like I do, you know, looking for pipes like a madman, and Peterson just threw out a thing. Oh, we have 36 unique pipes on today. You know, that they just came out, and there was 3 of these. And by the time I got on the phone and was ordering it, like one of them was gone already. So I think this is a shape that, you know, doesn't come along quite all that often.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't.
I don't know. I know that Laudisi purchased Peterson last year, and they've been coming out with some slightly new stuff. Looks a little bit different. I don't know how Laudisi, whether they're mixing things up over there or what.
Well, I think they're probably going to, I think they're going to probably, hopefully, you know, I'd like to see them improve some of the quality control. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Peterson, but I'll admit, you know what, sometimes things are just not done right. And you know what, that should be definitely improved upon. But I like how they're trying to get improve the sand blasting. I noticed with some of the newer pipes that came out that were sandblasted, they seem to be doing it in house now. And I think the blasts look a little bit better, you know, in some ways. I mean, other times I've seen some really great blasts on Petersons on some of the older ones. But also I'm happy I think they're going to try to improve the line, hopefully.
Would you guys be interested if we could get Sykes to be a guest speaker?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, That'd be great.
When I was talking with a sales rep from Ladisi, and we were talking about Peterson pipes, he told me at the time they bought Peterson pipes, there wasn't a single pipe smoker at the Peterson factory. People, none of the people who were making those pipes were pipe smokers.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It's like, I read about that. There was an article in Pipes and Tobacco about the factory, and really I was very surprised to, you know, to hear that, Dimitri, that there's not any really, they don't smoke in the factory, and you know, it's, I don't know, so it's surprising.
Yeah, I just finished smoking my pipe, and this is Savinelli Hercules, which is, well, I bought it over 20 years ago. It's pretty big, straight bulldog. Bowl is about 2 inches deep, and today it was for me hour and a half smoke with this McClellan Frogmorton.
Lucid Frogmorton.
If any of you Peterson guys are interested in getting a Peterson 9mm, Eddie Gray at the Pipe Nook now has a full line of Peterson pipes that'll take the 9mm filters. So if you're interested.
John, what company is that?
Eddie Gray at the Pipe Nook.
Is that the website, Pipe Nook?
Yeah, the Pipe Nook.
Yeah, thank you. I'll look that up.
How many of you guys are smoking with a 9mm?
All my pipes taken,
all
but
over
I never
in
used
Germany,
them.
yeah, everybody. I think that's a law or a religion or something, right?
In Europe, it's super popular, but yeah, here they're all 9mm, all of them. I don't know why, but all of them are 9mm. Like the bones I got, the stubby pot, it's actually a 9mm. And Chris made those specifically for the European market. So it's really weird. And I actually put a converter in it, which basically gets it down from 9 back to 3. It's just like a Delrin insert you push in to reduce the size, because I don't like the filters. But here in Europe, it's very, very common. I don't think you can buy a lot of European-made pipes without filters. It's nearly impossible.
Yeah, the only 2 pipes that I have that have 9mm are the Savinelli 320s. But I'm thinking about getting one of the Petersons from the Pipe Nook.
Yeah, I'm interested in the pipe. I'm not interested in the filter. I'm interested in the pipes.
We were talking about.
Well, I think the Danes are underrepresented here.
Bill, what are you smoking?
Today I'm smoking a Peter Hedegaard that I just got on eBay for an amazing price. I've been waiting for one of these for a long time. And sorry, that's the Combat Air Patrol coming back from Washington, D.C. But anyway, I smoked Luxury Navy Flake in this, and it's a great smoker, but it's not my best. I think my Jorn Larsons are absolutely the best smokers I have, including the Petersons, sorry. And the smallest pipe I have is Vermont Norse Dog out of Morta, which I just got a couple weeks ago, my first Morta pipe. It's tiny, but it's very effective. It's interesting to smoke tobaccos in there for the first time.
You know, one of the things that I like about the Mortas is that when you're smoking a Morta, you know that the wood, semi-fossilized, is at least 2,000 years old. And some of the older Mortas, they go back 6,000, 7,000 years. Whereas, you know, our Briars are probably, I don't know. Does anybody know? What do you think the average age on a piece of briar is? 100 years?
Well, for briar, it's it depends. If it's from the live plant, most likely it will be like between 30 and 50 years old. And the dead ones, which now are practically impossible to find, that's when plant died already and that girl was sitting in the ground for who knows how long. Those might be as old as 100 years old, but those are now practically impossible to find. They were more common in like early 20th century.
That's why some of those estate pipes that were factory pipes are still really good pipes because they were made out of older briar.
My friend, may I ask a question from you? I don't have any mortar or meerschaum, and I'm start to saving my money to buy a new pipe. What's your recommendation to me? Buy a mortar for the first pipe or buy a meerschaum for my next pipe?
I would say probably meerschaum. Well, besides you in Iran, it's you're pretty close to Turkey, so it might be easier for you and cheaper to get Turkish meerschaum pipe. It
Exactly.
doesn't really matter what it looks like, but as long as it's properly engineered, it will be a good smoker. And for mortar, most likely you should look into Italian or German mortar pipes.
And don't buy a cheap meerschaum. It have to be out of a block, so not a pressed
Yes,
one.
not the
Exactly,
pressed
exactly.
meerschaum, but a block meerschaum. One way to
Let me ask
find
you
if
guys
it's
a
block
question that's
or pressed, like you put little
this may be
saliva
a
on
stupid
your
question.
finger. Yeah, and you
Sorry,
touch.
Dimitri, go ahead.
Yeah, put a little saliva on your finger and touch
Sorry, Bart.
that ball. If it feels a little sticky, then it's a block meerschaum. If it feels like plastic, then it's pressed meerschaum. So basically, meerschaum dust mixed with epoxy or something similar and pressed into blocks. So don't buy those. It has to be a block meerschaum.
Bart,
Agreed, agreed.
my bad. I didn't mean to mute you, brother. I was trying to enlarge your picture. So you just put, yeah, there you go.
That's fine. I wanted to let Dimitri finish anyway. I was just wondering what mortar is actually, because I've heard this before. I knew about meerschaum and clay and briar and corn and all this kind of stuff, but I've heard about mortar, but I have no clue what it is, to be honest.
Mortar is
Well,
actually bogwood.
Petrified wood.
Fossilized oak. So oak
Thank you.
is a very unusual wood. When it falls into water in the swamp or so on, sometimes they call it swamp oak. So it doesn't rot like most other woods. Instead, it gets as hard as stone. So it's partially
I've heard
fossilized.
of bog oak, so that makes sense to me. Once
That's
somebody
the
said
same
it's
thing.
oak. Yeah, okay, thanks.
That's what mortar is, yes.
I would say Dabarine pipes. This guy is maybe the best mortar carver on the world, I would say. And they have the best material out from this area where he lives. So he makes this job, I don't know, 40 years or something like that. So you have to Google it. A Dabarine mortar is the best what you can get, I would say.
And that's in Croatia?
Yeah. It's Croatia or Serbia, I don't know. So, but this area, yeah. But I sent him an email a day before I got my mortar, and he answered in 2 hours. It was amazing. Really, this is a really nice guy. So if you need something, he made something for customers. If you say, hey, I need a mortar like this shape with this stem or something like this, he made it for you. It's unbelievable.
Can you share that link in the group, like the contact info for this dude?
I will do it. Okay.
Thanks. You're
Yes,
a new
Saeed,
admin,
you
right?
definitely need both in your collection, a mortar and a meerschaum. I think Dimitri might be right that where you live in Iran, you're so close to Turkey that probably just for convenience sake, that might be a good bet for you to pick one up there. You'd probably get a good one.
Agreed. if he wants to check out something, he should check out unar.com. That's where I got the meerschaums. He posts all over Facebook, and he does some amazing meerschaum. Like I'm smoking one I got from him, which is a Viking corn pipe, Viking meerschaum, which is excellent smoker.
For those of you guys who have Morta pipes, can you talk a little bit about what they smoke like?
I would say it smokes like a meerschaum, so you can smoke anything out of this, and you have no issues with ghosting or something. So it's a cool smoke. It's a very dry smoke. It's fantastic.
Excellent.
And you don't need to. They don't need to be rested.
No.
Sorry, go ahead, Todd.
No, you can smoke 10 bowls a day with the same pipe, so you have no issues with that. It's really perfect.
Yeah, I find that my experience with Morta, it's something between Briar and Meerschaum, but closer to Meerschaum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
The other thing is if you're a hot smoker, you just set it down for a minute and the thing cools off really quick.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks, my friend.
When I was doing the review of the different pipes, side by side, I felt that the Morta, and I'm not really scientific about this, so I can't put my finger quite on it, but it gave me the sense that it was the truest taste of the tobacco itself, more than the cob, more than the meerschaum, which are classically thought of as being where you want to smoke maybe a new tobacco or try it out or whatever. But the Morta was just so pure in taste, right?
Yes, it doesn't add any taste to the tobacco. But one thing about Morta, you should clean them very well, because this material is not as porous as briar. So if you don't clean it right away after the smoke, you might have too much tar accumulation in the shank. So you just clean it carefully, otherwise it will last forever. It doesn't burn. It gives you very good clean smoke, and you can smoke it all day long, same pipe.
And another thing is, why is a mortar a little bit more expensive than a briar? Some guys told me that they can only use 5% of all their founded mortar to make a pipe on it, because they have no clue what's inside the wood. So it's very difficult to find the right block to make a mortar pipe. So
yeah,
it's not easy.
hard to find.
No, not everybody can do that.
Yeah, it's very hard to find a good piece of briar, but even harder to find good piece of mortar.
Exactly.
We're getting towards the end of the safe zone, as I say every week. But there's a couple of guys. I love it that you come and hang out with us, but I want to make sure everybody has a chance to show off their good stuff. Rob, have you got something that you want to show off there, brother?
I just found out when I got on that we were showing off, so I left all mine inside. So
no worries. But you can
I'll show you this one.
Yeah, let's see what you got there.
I don't even know what it is. I got to be honest with you. I belong to a online, I think it's Bespoke.
Yep.
And they sent me this pipe along with a nifty little tamper set, pipe holder. So I would say it's a basket pipe, but it smokes really well.
That's where I got all my cigars from Bespoke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have a pipe or a cigar box. They have a couple of cigar boxes actually.
Mm-hmm. I just didn't say.
What are you smoking there, brother?
I don't know what this is. Let's see. Holding this up to the camera. It says Italy on the bottom of it. And this is one of my favorites, mainly because it's one of my largest ones. So I can smoke it for a couple hours.
It might be a factory second from one of the big companies. But again, as long as you like the pipe, as long as it smokes well, That's all you need. That means it's a good pipe.
Yeah, I would have shown off a 7 Octavia, which is an interesting shape. It's, 8 sides and not everybody has one, that I got. All my pipes I got 10 years ago, and they have all been basically been decorative until about 2 weeks ago. So, now I've seen so many wonderful things to add to my collection or to add to my list of things that I can't afford. I really appreciate it.
I think
Yeah, we
counting this
already
group to
concluded
give us
that we're.
all envy on some account there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we already concluded that everybody is going into financial ruin after this meeting. It's just part of the game today.
Hey, Bart,
Adria,
speaking
I
of
have a
financial
question.
I think
ruin,
I'll preemptively send my government a mail for some.
Dimitri, I have a question that you're the only one that I could think of to ask about this. It was a question that popped into my head the other day. So, because pipe tobacco or smoking tobacco, Tobacciana plant is basically from the 1500s on. But did earlier civilizations have any similar kind of smoking customs? Do we know about, like during Roman times?
In Africa, people been smoking hemp since prehistoric times, and they actually, like pretty early, they developed a variation of water pipe similar to shisha or nargile. But a simpler design, usually made from the small pumpkins. There is also interesting variation of the same design in India, made in metal, usually in bronze. In Americas, people been smoking tobaccos. It's unclear if first leaves they've been smoking was Nicotiana tabacum or Nicotiana rustica or both, depending on where they lived. But again, they've been smoking it from prehistoric times, and in a cigar form, probably much earlier than in a pipe.
Cool, thank you. It started me thinking about when we consider that smoking a pipe is a relaxing kind of hobby, that it's contemplative, it brings together people to converse and hang out. I couldn't imagine that this only started 500 years ago, that there had to have been some other version of this earlier on.
Yeah, it started 500 years ago in Europe, when Europeans brought tobacco from America. But
Hold on. Let me
America-
correct you there. The Spaniards brought the tobacco to Europe. Thank you very much.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But in America, people been smoking tobacco thousands of years before first Europeans came there.
And it's really an amazing story when you think about the Perique, and when they first discovered the oh God, and I don't want to get the tribe wrong, but the Europeans found these Native Americans. They had hollowed out these logs and put the tobacco in there, and then pressed it, and St. James Parish, they've been using variations of that, ever since, that they got from the Native Americans.
My friend, may I shout to you something historical? This is we call the Kaju. It is the oldest device for smoking tobacco in Iran. It's back to the, I don't know, maybe 300 old. It is something we put a tobacco in there,
Okay.
and
I think Saeed officially wins the largest pipe award for today.
I had one.
Hookah man.
I have a smaller nargile, Lebanese made.
Actually,
I had one of those in high school.
This is no, it's your weed. It's for tobacco. This is for tobacco. It's coolest device for a smoking tobacco. Even this is a oldest king from Persia picture. Shah Abbas painted in this device for remember him. This is oldest device in Iran for a smoking tobacco. We have a natural tobacco in Iran called Bassam tobacco. This is the oldest tobacco in Iran. But
Yeah, that's actually another species of tobacco plant. And as far as I know, it's used only in Iran for both nargile tobacco and for cigarettes. And thing is, they don't cut the tobacco, but like rip it by hand, or like break it into small pieces.
yeah, when some historical situation became in Iran, such as war with Arabistan, Arabian people, the Arabian people limited smoking in Iran. So for the maybe 100 years old, they nothing found about smoking thing in Iran.
actually, if somebody's interested in the history of tobacco and everything, of course, they're all books and some of them are out of date, but the Savinelli, the Dunhill book, and many other ones, and Richard Carlton, it's a great book if you guys can find it somewhere. It tells you the whole story about the origin of tobacco, not only in South America, Africa, the United States, Asia, and of course, Europe.
Well, guys, I'm going to close this out here in a couple of minutes. Again, I'm just this is the best part of my week, just hanging out with you guys. So
Mine too.
Here's
agree.
what's coming up. So
Likewise.
mark your calendars. Next Saturday, we're going to do the Sun Bear Roundtable.
Yep.
So
Now, who's
hopefully
sharing the
we'll have
Sun
some-
Bear?
What's that?
I came in late, so who's sharing the Sun Bear?
I think Oliver was going to distribute the Sun Bear.
I heard Todd say he had 4 tins. He should have
There we
got
go. So-
10.
I should have
So-
got 10.
So anybody got more than 4 that they want to get rid of one?
I'll bet. I'm predicting. I'm going to keep my eye on it, and I'll post it on the page if in case it happens. But I'll bet that there's another
Another
batch
release.
coming out because I don't think they shipped all 8,000 tins at once.
You know what? When I called Smoking Pipes, I was asking the guy when they were going to be coming out, what time, because I was trying to buy my Peterson pipe and the Sun Bear in my same order. They said they got less cans than they anticipated because a number of them went out to like brick and mortars. So I don't know how many they have available like online. Well, actually, it's all sold out now.
It's all sold out, but you know that I'm wondering. I don't know. I have no inside information, but I'm wondering if that might not go out in waves. You know, like one shipment goes out. Like if this is not uncommon in other kinds of commodities that you don't ship everything out at once because you don't know what the demand is yet. So it's possible. Anyway, maybe we'll have some more.
You know, when we wind this up, I'm gonna make a beeline to a brick and mortar in San Jose because that just dawned on me. They do get shipments, and people in Silicon Valley are clueless about tobacco. So maybe I'll
We
run
want
into
it to
some more
stay
tins.
that way. Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. Take a snapshot if you see some. I'd like to see some on the shelf, man. So that's
David,
what's coming up next weekend, and then the weekend following, which will be the 15th, we've got John David Cole from Country Squire. Finally, we pinned him down to a date, so he'll be here as our guest speaker after that. A couple other guest speakers that we're working on that we haven't nailed down yet is we've got Michael Horton from Belle Epoque Pens, who does a lot of pipe restorations and whatnot. So he's going to come on and talk about restorations for us. And then we still want to get Jeremy and Shane, thank you so much. Shane back together as a dynamic duo to talk with us one more time. And then the owner of the Danish Pipe Shop to be our guest as well. So that's what's coming up. Anybody that you guys would like to see as a guest, please just throw it out there. We'll see if we can get them to come in. I love your ideas and whatnot, but that's what's coming up.
David, I've heard Russ Willett speak a few times because he's from like the New York area, and you know I've seen him give a few talks on tobacco. He's really good and he's a really nice guy.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
He is a very good
originally
I like
from upstate
Russ.
New York. Yeah, originally from upstate New York. Now he's in Pennsylvania. He is one of most talented tobacco blenders in the world.
All right, we're going to reach out to Russ and see if we can bring him.
David, have you already done Chris Morgan?
We have not.
There's another guy you could.
It's a great
talk
idea.
to.
David, I'll send Chris a message because I've got some personal dealings with him, and I'm pretty sure if I ask him, he will come.
Super.
David, I talked with Dan Spinola at Paul's Pipe Shop in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
And when you were absent once, Bart was asking about speakers, and he's offered to come on also.
Could you shoot me a message from the club, and I'm going to write these down. This is really great. I have no idea how helpful it is because I spend my week, in the office at my actual job, and then I start thinking.
You actually have a job?
It's worse than that. I own the company.
I know the feeling.
It's terrible. So, but this is very helpful. I appreciate it.
David, before you wrap it up, I have two questions I'd like to ask. One is to the gentleman that was showing the tamper made of the HMS Victory, and the pipe that went with it that was in commemoration of Admiral Nelson. I would really appreciate it if you can send me some detailed pictures of that pipe and that tamper, because I have a very strong interest in Nelson and his naval history, and just seeing that stuff kind of got my blood all going excited.
Oh, cool.
So if you can make me some pictures of that and send them to me on Facebook, I would really immensely appreciate it.
Let me keep talking. I'm going to take a picture of your picture so I remember.
Cool, I will. It's just that I'll tell you why. I posted a picture in the virtual pipe club yesterday of me drinking Pusher's Navy rum, and this is actually nicknamed Nelson's Blood.
Right.
And it was so named because after Nelson was shot in the Battle of Trafalgar, they conserved his body in a barrel of rum. And it is the story that the sailors actually still drank that rum, because at some point they ran out of other stuff to drink. So they tapped a hole in the bottom and secretly drained that vat.
Why
the
not?
body was still conserved through all the alcohol, but the rum, they nicknamed it Nelson's Blood.
Right.
And on all the decanters for this rum, it actually, instead of rum, it says Nelson's Blood. So I have a profound interest in seeing your pipe, and especially the tamper in a bit greater detail. I would really appreciate it.
That's an amazing piece of history.
Cool, thanks.
That
And
is
then
awesome.
the last one, and I'll be quiet. I saw we have a new administrator, and I think he's here with a really cool virtual pipe club background. I don't think I've met this sir yet. Would you mind introducing yourself and telling a little bit about how you joined the platform?
When now?
Maybe I missed this in one of the last weeks. I haven't been here for a few weeks, so I apologize if you already did this.
I guess everybody missed it because I didn't say anything.
That
So-
makes sense.
Yeah, so I can say 2 words maybe. So yeah, I'm in the pipe club maybe for a couple of weeks, 5, 6, 7 weeks, I don't know. I'm a pipe smoker since, I don't know, maybe 20 years with a little break between. So I came from the cigarette smoking for years, maybe 25 years cigarette smoking. Then I stopped smoking totally for 12, 15 years. And then I decided to start or restart pipe smoking again. So I'm a German. I was born in Germany, grew up in Germany 46 years. Then I moved to the United States 9 or 10 years ago. So now I live here in Chicagoland, and I love it here, and I love the club, and this is why I do so much for the club, for the people, and I love it. So it's the idea from David to have a virtual pipe club in this situation right now with the COVID and all this stuff was the best idea I ever found, and I'm so thankful that people around the world come together, and this makes me happy every time when I'm on the Facebook page. So by the way, I'm a Facebook hater, by the way. If someone is looking in my profile, he will find maybe 3 pics, no friends, and pretty much nothing. So all what I do on Facebook is this club. And this is why I spend a little bit more time than some others and make sure that everything runs smooth and all people have to be happy with the hobby. And I'm very happy and proud to be a part of this nice and outstanding group. And I'm really thankful. Thanks.
How much
That's
is David paying you?
Thank
you.
you.
Cool.
Hey, David, so we bring him as a guest maybe in a couple of years?
I appreciate your contribution.
Oh yeah, I'm upset now. Yes, it's true. I'm happy to turn it over. No, I agree with Oliver Oliver that this group is such an amazing testament to the wonderful character of human beings around the world, regardless of nationality, regardless of religion, regardless of political leanings. Doesn't matter. There's some wonderful, wonderful people here, and the generosity, the conviviality, and the intelligence.
And there's so few of us.
I know I'm going out on a limb to include myself in that group, but nevertheless, I really am impressed.
David, and there's so few of us.
There's so few, and we're all here at the same time. Well, fellas, we're past the hour. Be safe, be well. I'll see you guys next Saturday, all right?
Thank you.
Good seeing
God
everybody.
bless everybody.
Good night,
Good seeing everybody.
Hi,
Really
everybody.
great seeing
Have a good
everybody.
night, everyone.
Night.
Next week.
Thank you.